What's going on, guys? We're back again with another video. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking. I did say we're going to be doing videos very often, so know what you're thinking about the channel so far, thinking about me, your thoughts on the topic at hand. And today's topic is once again AJ Ngannou. I know it's loads of times talking about this, but this will probably be the final one until after the fight. We'll speak about it. Today I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to break down how each fighter can win, what they do well, what they don't do so well, advantages, disadvantages, and at the end I'll give a tentative prediction. Boom. So let's get into it. First off, I want to start with Anthony Joshua and kind of talk about some of his attributes and how he could win the fight, or what he could do to at least make the fight an easier fight for him, or set things up for him to be, I don't know, victorious, or at least, yeah, victorious. Let's not even beat around the bush. So like I said in the other videos, previous videos, AJ is now a much more composed killer, a stone cold killer. Not so much brute force as he was early on in his career, and I believe that this will play into his hands. This is a big advantage to have. Like, he was relying on his brute force and his strength, and then towards the middle side, you know, when he after he lost to Ruiz, he started to become a little bit too cautious and a little bit too cautious. I guess in the Ruiz 2 rematch, it wasn't too cautious. It was respectfully cautious because what happened before, he upped his boxing IQ and used his boxing to outbox Ruiz very thoroughly. Now, in his fights after that, I think he was caught in between trying to be super cautious and actually wanting to hurt someone, you know, and that's been made, loads of media speaking about that for ages, so let's not get into that one. But right now, I do think we've got a perfect balance between the two. Someone with great boxing IQ, great boxing skills, understanding of the sweet science, as well as a stone cold killer, someone who wants to hurt people. Can he do it in this fight? And that's the question. I pose that, and I know, like, there's a big thing made of Ngannou's chin. Can he take the shots? You know, we've never seen him hurt. You know, and I did say in the last video that I did on Ngannou that we actually have seen him not necessarily like seriously hurt or in danger, but we have seen him hurt and clipped and wobbled in the Stipe 2 fight. Now, if he can get dazed, and he did get dazed, it was very brief, but he did get dazed by being clipped by hurt Stipe as well. Stipe had just been hit and he was thrown out of desperation. If Stipe can hurt Ngannou, I guarantee you that AJ can hurt Ngannou. The power is very different when it comes to boxers and MMA fighters. I'm going to kind of pose this question to you lot as well. You have a lot of media say, you know, Ngannou is getting used to getting hit by head kicks and, you know, elbows. He can take a punch and da. I mean, I personally haven't seen him be hit by that many head kicks. I might be, you know, maybe I'm misremembering. And also, the thing about elbows, you know, there was something made of Tyson Fury's elbow in that fight. That cheeky little elbow that he threw. Elbow in MMA, if I'm, like, you know, if I'm wrong, let me know. There's not loads of elbow knockouts. Spinning elbows, yes. Some reverse elbows, yes, but not necessarily close range elbow knockouts. All of those elbows are used to cut open your opponent. Correct me if I'm wrong. But in order to generate that much power from that close range, it doesn't happen very often unless you're getting clocked on the chin, which if you get hit there anyway with a fist, you're still going out. But getting hit on the forehead with an elbow is more likely trying to cut the opponent rather than trying to knock them out. It doesn't necessarily inflict more concussive damage. You can't build the same momentum you can build from a straight backhand as you can from a close range elbow, and that's not me debating it, that's just fact. So a lot of people do make a lot out of that. He's been used to being hit with elbows and his chin's held up. It's like, no, that's not what elbows are used for, as far as I'm aware. I don't think he's actually been hit with that many, especially with maybe head kicks a couple times, I think, from Cyril Gane, but not the elbow thing. Let's get that out of the way. AJ hits hard. And that's something that I think people are underestimating in terms of his power and his accuracy in that power. Now, if you're watching the Fury fight, Ngannou's chin is rather high in the air. He was waiting to catch and counter Fury, and that was the perfect game plan for that. He had a very good patience for that. But I don't really rate Fury as a power puncher. Yes, he knocked out Wilder and mashed him up both times because he outweighed Wilder by a hell of a lot. A heavy man hitting you, even if they're not a very strong man or a strong person, it's going to do some damage, it's going to inflict some pain. But if there's someone who's equally as big as you or equally as strong as you, it's not going to have the same effect. So I don't really rate Fury as a power puncher. With AJ, I don't think Ngannou can necessarily afford to always think about catching and countering, because within heavyweight boxing, if someone has got someone is a power puncher, they can punch through that guard, and AJ can punch through that guard. He can also find holes in the guard. So just, you know, if you watch it in the Wallin fight, obviously the shot in was the 6th round that caused the stoppage. He wasn't in between the guard, but it was a very precise shot. He punched in between Wallin's punches because he's a lot faster and more powerful than Tyson Fury is. Tyson Fury can be fast but without the power. AJ can be fast with the power. So that's something I don't think that Ngannou can really rely on. Now, in terms of how I think AJ gets it done, I think he needs to kind of play the long-ish game. I think he needs to try and take him out to the mid to late rounds. I don't think he should let it go too long, because Ngannou is going to be dangerous. And we'll speak about why he shouldn't let it go too long without trying to enforce himself from the get-go. He should use his footwork. Now, I believe Ngannou's reach is either the same as AJ, even though he's shorter. His reach is either the same or a little bit longer. So he can't necessarily just stay on the outside and be comfortable there and just keep him on the end of a jab. I don't think he can do that. He's going to have to keep him on the end of the jab and use his footwork to change angles, cut angles, move, and then set up the right hand. Or another side of it is use that jab, keep himself on the outside, wait for Ngannou to throw and not catch and counter. But what AJ's been working on is pull counters. He actually not first time I've seen it, but the first time he used it super effectively was in the Pulev fight, which again, a lot of people give him a bit of a hard time for, but there was some very good stuff in that fight. Pull counter with the right hand, or a slip and then counter with a right hand left hook, or down to the body and up to the head. And that's another part of the game plan I think AJ should do, and he's been doing, is go into the body very often. He's been doing that since we've been there for ages, but especially since his kind of, say his second win, since after the Ruiz fight, or after the Usyk's loss, should I say. Even with the Franklin fight, even though it wasn't the greatest performance, even with the Helenius fight, he was going to the body often, and not just to take the wind out the sails and the Wallin fight, but also to set up the big power punch up top. Now, obviously, you know, like Francis Ngannou, he's probably got an iron core, so it's not necessarily going to take that much wind out the sails, but you know, it is going to start to distract him. It is going to start to make him maybe start dropping his hands a little bit, or maybe start reacting in a certain way. And you know, I feel if AJ trusts his IQ, and if Ben Davison and Lee Wiley do their job as well, which I know they will, to study Ngannou, I think they can devise a plan in which to use certain body shots to set up big shots up top. And like I said before, because of AJ's accuracy, because of his patience, one punch will change things. Won't necessarily knock him out, but it will hurt Ngannou and change the course of the fight. Now let's talk about Francis Ngannou, Le Predateur. How can he win? Mate, it's going to be a very interesting one, because again, even though we say we've seen 10 rounds on him now, and you know, like I said, the Stipe performance is a bigger thing I think we should be going by. He's still a wild card. He still is a wild card. I believe Ngannou needs to come out early. He needs to come out and put the pressure on AJ very, very early, and test if he still has that metal there. And I believe AJ does, but he needs to test that. He needs to put it to the test straight away. He can be, even though he's a little bit smaller, he's physically imposing, and he needs to impose his will from early. Put pressure on, obviously not gas too early, so not throw 1,000,001 punches, but I think we're going to see that Alistair Overeem Ngannou. I think we're going to see the Rosenstrike Ngannou, who's just a steam train coming forward, but a bit more educated and a little bit more patient. So I think he's got to put some educated pressure on, not just throw loads of punches, but pressure with the feet, pressure with just his presence in general, trying to get a ring generalship. And even though I said, you know, I don't think he should try and play the catch and counter game of AJ, if he does trust in his power, or it's not power, his strength and his defense, maybe that is a thing, trying to get the catch and counter, like he did with Fury. He tried that a bit too often, which is why I edge AJ higher on the boxing IQ level, because he's trying it every single time, trying to throw that lead hook over the top, especially in the southpaw position. But I do believe, you know, if he believes in his strengths and he thinks he can take AJ's shots on the gloves and they can counter quickly, that's a good chance. But a big thing I think Ngannou needs to do is start early, hit him often. And I know it sounds really like cliche, but again, you need to try and really put pressure on, hit him as much as you can, and then try to use that to get in close. And this is the biggest part of the game. Now, he started it a little bit in the Fury fight, where Fury tried to bully Ngannou on the inside because he's used to being able to maul his fighters, or maul his opponents, should I say, like he did to Wilder, like wrap them up and tie them up and grapple them. But you couldn't do that with Ngannou because Ngannou is a lot stronger than Tyson Fury, and a lot stronger than Deontay Wilder. And on top of that, not just the physical strength, but then the technique, the understanding of wrestling, the understanding of how to create a gap and create space, and also how to transfer his weight so we can use Tyson Fury's weights against him. And there's so many times that he just, like Tyson Fury trying to tie him up, and he just didn't just slip out, but just didn't accept the clinch. Moved around the clinch and then shifted Fury into the ropes, and Fury was perplexed. There's one point where Fury gets him into a reverse headlock and the ref's trying to break it up, but before the ref gets a chance to, Francis pries his hand off and works his way out of it. That doesn't often happen with boxers, but because Francis has that grappling experience and he's also very, very strong, he's not having it. And also, within that, within those grappling exchanges, or those tying up and clinches, Francis also was able to start landing a couple of short shots on the inside on Fury. I think he actually even landed an uppercut where Fury almost went down, and he I think it's when he grabbed him around the waist. I think that's when he went down, but it wasn't counted as a knockdown. But there are those moments there where Francis is able to create the space in order to land a short, powerful shot that's going to hurt his opponent. Now, with AJ, while his clinch game has gotten a little bit better, he's not on Francis's level in terms of the clinch game. So, when he gets to the inside, AJ's going to have to rely on strength. And strength for strength, we don't really know who's stronger yet. All kind of, common sense will probably say Francis at the moment, but you just never really know until you see it. But we do know that technique-wise, Francis has him there. So if he can tie him up and get in the clinch, get close to AJ, get in the clinch, and start to land short, powerful shots, create space, create openings with his technique, with his wrestling technique, and hit those shots and just hurt him and see what happens. I think that's a big positive in there, or like put in a positive column for Francis. Now, what I do believe is, I do think that Francis does have to try and finish it early. I think within the first 4 rounds, if AJ's got the patience that we like to see, but if AJ's got a bit of a pace on him and he is hitting the body often and he is working hard and making Francis work a lot more than Fury was, then I believe Francis will start to gas towards the end of the fight. So Francis, I believe, needs to try and get it done before the 4th to 5th round. I say 4th round, he needs to try and really at least hurt him. If he doesn't knock him out, has to really try and hurt him by the 4th round to impose his will. After that, I think it's going to be a bit of a longer night for Francis. It's a really interesting one. We didn't see Francis's right hand really come into play, or his backhand come into play in the Fury fight. I think if he hits AJ with that, it's going to be a long night. I know there's a lot made of AJ's chin and can AJ take the shots, but I don't really buy into all that. He was hit by Ruiz, but like in the back of the equilibrium shot, which threw him off. But we've seen AJ being hit with hard shots and then come back, and I don't believe he's going to be hit and then stay down unless he is knocked clean out, which again we haven't seen. Using Fury as a measuring stick for Ngannou's power, it's not really reliable, considering how many times he's been down from even smaller and less and smaller punches, and so we can't really use that. But if anyone gets hit with that Ngannou right hand, it's going to be a long night. Power for power. Who hits harder, Ngannou or AJ? Now, this is a hard one. It's a real hard one to decide. I know there's so many things made of, he hits like a Ford Escort that hits whatever they talk about the punching machine and all that type of stuff in regards to Ngannou's power. I think he has crazy raw strength and raw power, and I think AJ has, what would you say, technical brilliant power, like point A to point B the maximum velocity. Bam. You know what I mean? He's got perfect technique to throw that backhand, the perfect 1-2. So we don't know which one's really stronger. There's a lot made of, you know, stupid punch machine stuff, and you know, like the Gymshark punch machine that Ngannou's, oh, he's the top scorer, and oh my gosh, AJ's in trouble. I'm just like, you're not seeing he's sponsored by Gymshark, and it's a Gymshark machine. It's the same as when he bloody slammed the door and they said it broke the glass. So, you know, you can't really judge it by that. I think literally the only time you can really judge it is when they get in the ring. It's the same as their chin. You're not going to be able to judge who's got the better chin until you see them fight. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, that's all I've got to say on the matter. I've got one more thing to say actually on the matter. I've got to say who I think wins. All right, so it is a hard one. It is a real hard one. But I do believe AJ gets it done. Nah, it's not that hard. I believe AJ gets it done. I really do. You know, I just feel like he's got the tools to get it done. He's got more of the tools. Again, I am confident in it. I'm gonna stand by it. I'm gonna put my confidence on it. I do have it like 60%, maybe 70% AJ, 30% Ngannou, only because Ngannou is a wild card and we just don't know what he's gonna bring, and he has obviously an amazing mindset. So he is tough, and I just, you know, it's hard to bet against him. But I just believe AJ will get it done. You know, there is a world in which he doesn't try and knock him out, and he just try and hurt him consistently, which I think is the best way to go about it. You know, I know a lot of people make a lot of the Ruiz 2 performance, and you know, it was boring, he was just jamming his head up and blah 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 blah. But you still have to give him a lot of props for changing his style and taking the rematch straight away and not going, oh, I'm going to take this and that, and they had to practice. But no, I'm going to change my style completely in a few months and comprehensively outbox Ruiz. And that's one thing I'll say as well, which we kind of, you know, like I say, he could outbox Ngannou and win all 10 rounds or most rounds. Like, we've never had a fight with Anthony Joshua, even ones that goes to points, unless he's obviously lost, like with Usyk twice. We've never had a fight where we've been like, did he win that? Oh, there's a debate. It's never been debatable. It's either, you know, he's won the fight on points, like with Parker or whatever. There was never, it wasn't close. It wasn't like, oh, maybe Parker won that, or oh, maybe Ruiz won that second fight. If AJ decides to go to points, or frankly the same thing, as much as it wasn't a great fight, if it goes to points, if he does the outboxing thing, I think it will be very clear. I don't think it will be close. I don't think it will be too close, unless, I don't know, I keep going back on it, unless Francis decides to do some madness and knocks him down or hurts him or something crazy happens. I do believe AJ will get it done. I'm not going to go for the method because it's just too much of a wild card of Ngannou, but I do believe AJ has too many tools in the bag, and I think he'll get it done. I do believe Ngannou will look good in there, but ultimately I think boxing knowledge and boxing IQ will prevail. There, I said it. What do you think? Who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's got the edge on this one? Please like, share, subscribe, and also comment below. Don't forget, when you subscribe, hit that notification. In fact, don't hit it. Bang! Jab that notification button. Jab that bell. Make sure you get all the updates. I want to be doing not just talks. Some more boxing videos are coming as well. Some workout plans and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, but you know, some fun stuff. Anyway, see you soon. Bow.